Hey, welcome back to the Soul Pod. This is Stacy. This video is for anyone who wants a simple tool they can use for daily growth. This is one for you. The quote we open with, the Nicola Clinch quote, we're either learning or we're blaming. Let's dive into that. Think about this for a minute. Every moment is a choice. Every moment's a choice. If I spill coffee on myself, I've got a choice. I can be pissed off that the person that gave me the cup of coffee didn't put the lid on tight enough, or I can make the choice to remind myself to check it next time. If someone cuts me off in traffic, I can choose to yell at them, or I can choose to wonder to myself, is this an opportunity for me to pay attention differently so that doesn't happen again? It's a choice. Both of those are simple examples, but they're both choices. The option is to project that it's someone else's fault, play the victim, or to take personal responsibility for whatever happened to try to avoid it happening in the future. Now, in the moment where you blame someone else, whether it's being cut off in traffic, whether it's spilling coffee on yourself, not only are you playing the victim, but you're also giving away your power. In that moment, instead of saying, I'm grasping the power, you're saying, the world is treating me badly and I have no power over that. It may not feel that way, but comparatively here, let me show you the other side of it. The other side of it is, wow, I'm going to check that coffee cup top from now on. I should have checked that from now on. That probably won't happen again. Oh wow, I wonder if I could have signaled sooner there. I wonder if I should have been paying more attention. Now, whether either of those things was entirely your fault doesn't really matter. What matters, and this is why this is a really powerful tool, is that in that moment you're giving yourself the power. You're not giving away the power. When you blame someone else, when you blame anything, anyone, you're giving away your power. You're telling the world, okay, you're treating me badly. And telling the world it's treating you badly is sort of allowing the world to treat you badly in a way because you're giving away your power. Whereas when you say, oh, what can I learn from this situation? What can I do differently in the future to avoid this situation? Now, this doesn't mean that everything in the world is your fault. That, not at all. What it means is that you're taking this opportunity to make yourself stronger, to empower yourself, to make yourself in charge of your life instead of the victim of your life. You following me? Now, this is the cool thing about that. This goes to a philosophical and psychological um, concept called locus of control. Locus of control. This psychological concept is the way we see where the power of the world is the power inside of us or is the power outside of us. And there's great studies around this that show that locus of control, when your locus of control, you see it as being within you. People that have this ability, instead of seeing the power outside of them, they have lower stress, they have better coping skills, they have better health outcomes for a number of different reasons. Let's just look at the health outcome one for a moment. People who feel that they're powerless, who keep giving their power away, who blame others or blame the outside world for their situation, have higher cortisol levels. If you don't know anything about cortisol, look it up. I'm not going to go into that here, but high cortisol levels are really bad for your health. Just tons and tons of downstream bad health effects can come from high cortisol levels. And those are simply released by us telling ourselves that we're being treated badly, that the world is treating us badly, that we are a victim to the world. Think of all the people you know who are incredibly miserable people, or just terribly miserable people, or generally miserable people. Think of anyone you know who's miserable. That person probably looks unhealthy and probably is unhealthy, not just because of the cortisol either. The studies show that you have like about a 50% less likelihood of becoming unhealthy, 50% less likely, 50% lower levels of stress. And it's because, not just because of the cortisol level, but the psychological stories you tell yourself actually make you take better care of yourself. If you are going through the world being a victim of the world, damn, I can't believe that person gave me a coffee cup with a loose lid. What a jerk. Why are they treating me that way? I was an asshole, cut me off in traffic. That mentality makes you not want to get out of bed because you're feeling a victim of the world. It's telling you that it's not worth living. It's not, all these stories that make you just think that life sucks. And when life sucks, when you think that life sucks, you don't want to work out. Don't want to take care of yourself. You don't want to take medication. When you do believe that life is good and it's wonderful and that you're in control of it, at least to a certain extent, you want to take care of yourself. You want to work out. You want to take your vitamins. You want to eat healthy. You want to be out in the sun. But just simply being out in the sun is healthier for you than not being out in the sun because of the things that our body craves that we get from the sun and from nature. So locus of control, when it is in here, serves us. And this tool is simple. Like I said, all you have to do is in the moment where you feel yourself getting ready to blame something outside of yourself for how you feel inside of yourself, simply own it in that moment. And just go, okay, that just happened. What do we do with this? And remember, you're taking the power back. In that moment, you are taking the power back. You are saying, nope, I got this. I got this. You're ready to blame a coworker? Don't blame a coworker. It might have been their fault. But just ask yourself, outside of whatever was their fault, what could I have done differently? Or how could I have handled this differently? How could I have minimized that thing going that way? Even if minimizing that thing going that way means knowing better in the next time around to not partner with that person on that project. You see what I'm saying? So even though it may not be entirely your fault, owning it gives you the power to change the future outcomes with things in this same space. There's a lot of different ways you can attack this thing. And it's a habit that once you get into, completely changes the way you see your place in the world. And especially if you're in the habit now of blaming outside entities for your happiness levels. You following me so far? Do you see how this works? Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. The person you decide to be. That's what we're talking about here. It's funny, this goes back 100 years to Emerson, right? 100 years? 1860? More than 100 years, about 150. So Emerson was saying the same thing back then that psychology has proven through studies, research, brain scans, all this good stuff. How about that? The only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. Who do you want to be today? Who do you want to become now, this year? Today's the day to start, right here, right now. Take the power back. And the first step, stop blaming. Start owning. I hope this was useful. Thank you for being here. If you haven't checked out the Soul Podcast yet, check it out. Season 4 is about to launch. Been working up some great episodes I think you'll like. If you like this, you'll like the Soul Podcast. It's longer versions of the same sorts of topics and great personal work you can do on yourself. I'll share a link in the show notes. If you have any great comments or even bad comments, share them. I love to hear from you guys, and I love the conversations I see in the show notes. It's always illuminating. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.